What's up? That's right. It's your boy Cino here, and let's get into it. BMF Season 4. They say this ain't a big rich town. Woo! Everybody, stand up for BMF. Hit the like button coming through the door. We appreciate your love and support. What's up, y'all? BMF is the T-move of power. No, it's just that there were different people involved. And now with people stepping out of the way and most people are gone who helped create that vision, this leads to a lot of different elements. This season, this was one of the best seasons they had since the first season. In actuality, this BMF season was one of the best. I would probably put it second if I was ranking the seasons. Season 3, it was the one I thought was probably the worst season that they had. Now, what made this season stand out more to me was the storytelling. This one went back to the story. It started showing things that happened in Mexico, and they kept showing bits of it throughout the season. They didn't focus on, let's just whack some random person just because we need deaths on the screen. This focused on directional change and the shift of tone. As the end of season 3, you saw Meech and Terry expand to different cities with Miami as a hub. And then they're going to branch out to every different area from the D to St. Louis to Atlanta. Now, with that being in play, before this season kicks off, there's a major beef with 50 Cent. And 50 Cent is saying, well, I hope it do good for y'all, because this is it. We're shutting it all down. Now, his issues with Big Meech Sr. led into an all-fallout blowout with the entire family. There's more in development with that. And we'll get into that a little bit later. But going over these scenes, you constantly see from like the second episode where, you know, they discovered Purdy. And Purdy was basically Queen Pen, you know, inspired by a lot of female artists. And this one, they really went into the realm of not following how the story usually went. Because everybody was asking me, who got smoked? Who got killed? Like, they signed an artist and she got killed. I'm like, look, this is inspired by the true story. This is not how things went. Okay? So, yeah, she even says she's the Queen Pen. So she was inspired probably by Queen Pen, the rapper, female rapper. The mother going into the church and being a pastor and going down that realm And that hot, sexy mama, my goodness, boy, she is fine. She the finest thing on BMF, that mama. Miss Lucille, she went out bad. She went out sad. Well, the thing is that this whole show was a testament to that, Miss Lucille. See, Miss Lucille has to go through the journey of saying, oh, I'm praying for the Lord, I'm doing this, but every season, she seems to be doing things that's less and less godly. She's cheating on her husband. She's using vibrators. She's going around doing everything a female pastor isn't supposed to do. So she's not walking the path of the righteous woman. She's pretending to walk the path of the righteous woman. And she thinks because she ignores it and pray that it's all right. And this is why her daughter's pregnant and then she's got all these two men, don't know who the real baby daddy is. That's how it happened that way. She created that empty house. She helped push everybody out. She played her part. And what God showed her is, okay, you lust in this and all this stuff. Okay, you're going to have it real easy. Wear your mink, do all that. Then in the end of it, it's all gone away. Now where you going to be? This game is a deadly game. So if there's anything to learn from this series so far is don't even get in this game because there's no way out. There's no way out. And there's no reward, ain't no Hall of Fame for you. It's only death or jail. They were able to go probably further than anybody I've seen in the game to get to the level that they got to. And believe me, that takes a lot of luck. So they bring back their old partner, their rival, LeVar, and LeVar comes back and does what he does. And B. Mickey comes in and saves him and shoots LeVar. And then you don't really see him till he comes back later and take out the his cousin who had the funeral parlor. Gave him some medication and he was getting himself back right, lifting them weights. But they brought him back because the show was popular with LeVar back in the role. The first two seasons was epic because of LeVar. You know, he stole the show from Terry and Meech. It was all about him in the first two seasons. Now, if we look at in comparisons to all of the things that go on as far as this season and the things that were good about it, I think they wasted too much time with this Purdy thing. And it was like, okay, we get it. You know, we know what you're going through with Purdy, but it's like, how many times she gonna OD before somebody realize she's a junkie? You know what I'm saying? It's like, come on now, this girl's a junkie. And you couldn't see that and y'all sell drugs? It's like, come on now. Everybody had to know Purdy was a junkie. So, man, you can make it, Purdy. Come on, Purdy. You can do this. I don't know. I'll be like, look, Purdy don't need to be in no studio. She needs to be in rehab or somewhere else. So right at the bank of everything. You know, you had a character who was in here earlier who was supposedly inspired by to be Young Jeezy or whatever, and ended up getting smoked. But that was just they're not gonna put Jeezy in this situation. So any anyhow, moving around in this notions, you start to see a lot of things play out differently that you didn't see in season 3. This was more about the fallout between Meech and Terry. So it wasn't built on we just gonna have somebody getting shot every week. You know, that kills it. It didn't need it. All you saw was what was going on in the loo, what was going on with all of the decisions that was being made. Neither side are really dealing with each other. Like Meech and Terry ain't on the same page. Meech had to go to St. Louis and deal with the situation because Terry tried to get involved and handle it on his own. And he screwed it up. And because he screwed it up so bad, it got so messed up, they had no idea, they had no way to fix any of it. Everybody did Charles bad. It was a terrible, terrible way to move forward with the storyline, but to continuously see Charles, who was happy to go back on the road, get his hand messed up, and he had to lose his job again and all that craziness. He ended up going to Atlanta. It was best for him to just go to Atlanta. You know, after the chick turned on him, he had him a little chick on the side, you know, and then you start to see the sister, she started to become a little thought. You know, anybody smile at her, give her some attention, she was happy. Then she goes and has a baby and claims the baby belongs to this guy. And she's still flirting with the other dude she was sleeping with, while the guy who came, just stopped playing football, came out of college, don't even know that he probably ain't the daddy. Well, see, here's the problem with Little Meech and where they're going to go from the rest of the season. They started to rush a lot of things. Here they were trying to make us a series. You know, you got Lamar in there, you got B. Mickey. Everybody wanted to see them back, and they brought them back, and they kind of didn't really fit in the storyline that much. Jam and B. Mickey in there, having him playing this double agent, trying to set up T and Meech. And it was like, for what? When y'all had to drop on them right then and there, if your plan was to take them out, you could have took both of them out right then and there. You had them ambushed. And then you turned around and shot Lamar and them. And it was like, oh, I needed some money though. Hell, if you'd have took them out, y'all could have started your own operation. You'd have had some bread, but he saw it as an opportunity. Let me take LeVar out, then I'm back in. They helped him out with his daughter's surgery and everything. B. Mickey's daughter is going to be fine. She going to live. And all of this is leading up to this conflict of what happened in Mexico, where T got on a helicopter and left Meech them out there in Mexico while he went there safe. He told the pilot to stop and don't pull off yet, but he did. We saw all that. And we saw all the layouts. We didn't miss nothing. Well, here's the problem with that, Raheem. The thing of it, the matter of it is this. Here's the problem. The problem is they can't have all these situations connected to one another, because other people could say, "Hey, that's me. I'm suing. I want to cut her the money." So how do you get around that? You say, "Well, this character dead, so you didn't die because you right here asking for money. This character died, so that obviously ain't you." So. Well, you can't because of legal circumstances. People will come in and sue. They'll be saying that ain't me, that ain't what I did, blah, 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 right? So if you had celebrities in here, you showed them in different settings, like when they had the Biggie and Faith, when they all right, they showed that Biggie and Faith person. They was, hey, this the Biggie and Faith person. Pay the real people. I don't work that way, dog. You gotta understand, these are not actors. Half these people were gangsters. Half these people are slimy, grimy people. You just can't. Oh, we gonna pay everybody. No, the show didn't really suffer from that. The show suffered, and I would like to say they put a lot of money and budget into this one, more than they did into Power Season 2. I mean, not Power Season 2, but Power Book 2. Jesus Christ. That, like, we going to Milan. And I'm like, dog, y'all downtown Atlanta. This ain't no damn Milan. So there were steps to be made. Absolutely. Now, these unnecessary shootouts. There wasn't a lot of shootouts at all, except for the last, like they were showing the last scenes, and then the last actual show. There was some great moments in this season. The one where they had the guy in Atlanta when he got caught, and him and Meech was trying to get away. They was both running, and he ended up getting caught. And he had a murder in Detroit, and his father came in and spoke to him. That was powerful, you know, and he still stayed down, like, BMF forever. Like, he was not tell. He was not going to be one to tell anything. And Meech was all about loyalty to his guys. but you saw the dissension and the actual conflict between the two play out more in this season, how they ended up being separate and in two different areas because they outgrew each other. They both were two polar opposites. And then once Terry, his weakness was women. He always had women problems. He couldn't keep his thing balanced. Meech had all these women everywhere, but he didn't. He seemed to have it all managed and under control. So it was a microcosm for that. They should have had a budget for Terry Fantasy. That was egregious. Well, here's the thing that made it pretty interesting. Yeah, that was a moment that was like kind of trippy. And I was watching it like, that's kind of crazy. I can't believe that they'll take that avenue, but all right, let's see how it plays out. So watching it and rewatching it, I started to say to myself, I said, okay, we have a major situation developing here, but I don't really see anything that anybody they could do here. Like, it's a lot of controversy. It's a lot of red tape. But them actually bringing LeVar driving from Detroit to Atlanta. I mean, Detroit to Atlanta is like that's almost about a 10, 11-hour drive. And they drive a hearse all the way to Atlanta. Then when they drive the hearse all the way to Atlanta, it's met with scrutiny. Now, the only thing that's bad, I would say the only thing in here that didn't work was the finale. The shootout with the Mexicans. It felt like the Mexicans was right here, the cartels, and they're running to the hotel. They just standing right by him. I'm like, he can accidentally hit nobody? I'm like, Loco got hit like 2-3 times. He stayed with Loco. They brought a truck in, took Loco out of there, and I'm just like, dude, everybody's missing at this range. I was like, oh, this should have been finished right then and there. Laid out. As close as everybody was to each other. I'm like, all this shooting and nobody hit. Then the shootout at the end in the mall, where you got all the enemies for the meet in one place. Brian's there. Then you got, they just brought Brian in, just put him in Atlanta. Now he don't over there in Atlanta don't know what to do. You got Brian and the cops coming in. You got Lamar coming in. Then you got B. Mickey coming in. So Terry and Meech gets to leave a shootout. Everybody in there shooting. It's just crazy. He kills Lamar for bringing his wife into it that he got a daughter with. And then the wife is sitting over there feeling sad for Lamar. No, get away. It's going to be okay. I'm like, this dude just spun your head and you met him for 5 minutes. He kidnapped your daughter. Tell him about y'all going to be one big family. And you already, your head that spun around, your father, your kid right here. You killed that girl. It didn't happen like you said. I don't know you anymore. It's gonna be okay. It ain't gonna be okay. I'm like, he done spun your damn head already. Then Big Mickey took her hostage. And Lamar didn't even know she was pregnant. All right, that was the quickest Stockholm syndrome I've ever seen in my life. This is what happened when you don't have a lot of resources for episodes. So they bring this whole thing full circle, and it's like, man, they just rushing a lot of stuff too fast. And now the ending didn't really satisfy a lot of people. They fast forward 3 months. You see Terry was going to California. Then you seen what happened with Boone shooting up the restaurant, and it's trying to keep him in Detroit for a little bit longer before he go to California. And then we see Meech was living his life in Atlanta, living it up. Then this incident happened in the club. He gets arrested. They finna try to charge him with a murder. And now they got his fingerprints on the bottle. None of that happened in real life. The only thing that was close to that was the incident with Wolf, which definitely didn't happen like that, and definitely ended up very tragic for two individuals. Yeah, it was pretty bad on that note, but you know, what you gonna do? We think probably the Kano character was Wolf, or supposed to be Wolf. We don't know, but that was the only thing. Yeah, because that's the only thing that was close to a situation in real life that could even be mimicked in that. So all the bottle, the girl on the top, them arresting, this is all theatric. So we'll see. I mean, this is probably much it. We won't see how it plays out, unfortunately. And it's sad because I think Starz would want to continue if this was going to do well. And without 50's involvement, see, trying to cut 50 out, as much as they're trying to keep him out of the mix on a lot of these projects that he brought to the table, now they're trying to say they lost $42 million on the BMF series, and they lost about 400,000 subscribers to Starz. And the beef with 50 hurt this whole season. So I feel bad for the other actors like that. Hot Mama, you know, I'm quite sure Lala's unhappy with how this plays out for her career. Of course, she got naked again and is messing with Terry. In real life, she was still messing with Terry even when he got out of jail. Now, oh, the way you look at it, man. I mean, if you look at how everybody is just like overly attached to doing what they think is right and doing what they think is possible, with these scenarios and the way it's laid out. I mean, BMF is probably going to be a show that they'll go back and watch and be like, man, this was good until they messed this up. You know, I love seeing the Moors and what was happening in St. Louis. A lot of people didn't know about that until they saw it. Oh, Jay Pusher was something else. Overall, I like this show because it has supporting characters that made the show interesting. Like I like the mama. I like what she was doing on the show. And I like the pops and what they had him doing on the show. Lamar stole the show in the first 2 seasons, and after Lamar, they kind of went away from him. And season 3, people didn't like season 3 because there was really no B Mickey, no Lamar, and then it was like trying to follow where they were going to go with the direction of BMF. They couldn't create that villain, that adversary that they needed. So in 4, they bring back B Mickey and they bring back Lamar, but it ain't done in a way that makes a lot of sense. He's only in like a couple of spots. Like they're just implanting him in situations. Right, and the pops is great because Pops gonna tell it to you straight. He ain't gonna sugarcoat nothing. Pops gonna be, hey man, I'm getting my band back together. Like, he's like, I don't agree with how you and your brother go ahead and make y'all money, but I gotta say, I'm proud of y'all. He finally gave it in. Now, the first season only got 8 episodes. So it's only 8 episodes. Yeah, and it was like 10 and 10. Yeah, B Mickey never, recovered from putting his woman down. I mean, Meech's negotiational skills in this movie was terrible. I mean, not movie, but the series. It was just terrible, man. They need Ghost back. No, they just need to do the writing the way it's supposed to go down. I mean, he go to LA and he decides to make a get in a fight with the Bloods, then go up to the Bloods talking about, yeah, BMF, we taking over. So you either getting on this train or you gonna get left behind. Everybody else is already on board. I'm like, dude, you just got in a fight with me like last night. You ain't finna just walk up and get nothing done like that. Season 3, they got a lesbian gangster named Hendrix in here running crazy. Yeah, I mean, Jay Pusher was great. That's what I'm saying. It's the season started off great. When they were showing Jay Pusher trying to screw them up out of the whole play because he see the thing for himself. He's like, oh, they too distracted. I'm going to go ahead and move all this work. It's like, man, you know, that's what we do, man. You know, hey, I do what I do. I move to work. Well, Meech was always about keeping the peace because he knows all these wars mess up the money. It dry up the streets. And B. Mickey just did the hit he was supposed to do, that would have ended everything. They'd have been rolling high. The problem would have been taken care of, and the war would have been over. And Meech could have did his deal with either side. Man, I hated to see Loco go, man. Loco was one of my favorite characters on the show. He loved Meech. Whatever Meech, Loco be like, no, no good. We can't go there. Stay here. Good idea. Terry be like, nah, we need to stay here and fix this problem. Meech be, I think we need to go to Cali. And we need to still make that trip to Cali. Loco was, no, we stay here. No Cali, not now. A lot going on. We need to stay here. Terry was like, yeah. Meech was, nah, Loco, don't you get it? We get out there, we get to get more, we can get more work. If we go out there, we can just get more work. Yeah, we could. That's a good idea. Loco is on board right away. Yeah, you know what? Terry's looking like, man, God. He was like, I already got the guy that can move it. His name's Mayo. And yeah, we set up. We already good and ready to go. I just need to get down there and touch down with him. We already got a pipeline. Yeah, that's why I like you. We going to Cali. Man, Loco was ready to. Loco went down there, man, and that was sad, man. Loco died. I was not Loco. They blew up Loco. And when they met with the boss, the big boss, Manuel, that's when they knew. A lot of y'all didn't even pick up on that. Like Manuel had Loco killed. He had Loco killed right away because this whole war with the cartel, Loco did so much over there. It was like, look, well, this solve it if we take out Loco. They was like, if Loco's dead, then hey, the war is over. So when they talking about Loco, because that's who they normally go to, he see Terry and Meech operate on their own. They don't really need Loco. And he was like, okay, well, they don't really need Loco. I could deal exactly with them, and I don't need Loco's problems. So he can blow up Loco, say, okay, that ended the war. Now the pipeline can move smoothly. So he said, I thought that was obvious. He's like, I knew it. Manuel was too cool letting Meech know Loco died. Right. Meech knew right away. He picked right up on it. He knew what he was saying without saying it. that he killed Loco. And he blew Loco ass up to stop this war. Because see, Meech made Loco a lot of money. He kept moving weight. They kept moving weight. And he was like, and Manuel knows, and this is in the drug world, they know the capabilities of the people they with. So when they see them doing like well, something's up. Like, what you got? He's like, I got 2 studs, baby. These dudes, they know how to get it done. I'm rolling over here. So Loco was rolling out there and getting into all kind of trouble out there, getting into it with the cartels, the police, the federales, everybody. Loco was in all kind of problems. They had to break Loco out of the doggone jail when he was out there. So Loco was always in the mix. So he was a headache for Manuel. But he's bringing in a lot of money now, more than what his capabilities are. So everybody know it ain't really him. He got some horses behind him. So when the horses stepped up, like, yo, it's time to meet with the big boss, and they bring him to the table, he was like, okay, good. These guys can take care of business, and he already know what they could do or they wouldn't be sitting there. So he's like, look, I know what I need to do. Loco is the loose end. So I got to take care of Loco, and then now I could deal directly with them. They gonna take Loco's spot. Y'all come deal with me direct. Y'all don't need Loco to deal with. See, and now they in a position, more of a position of control. Yeah, so Manuel had him, hey, it stopped the war and everything else. That cartel just wanted him gone. So he was like, yeah, rob a cartel, take him out. No, rob a cartel could have deal with you that you take out Loco. But you see, Meech ain't questioned nothing he said because it's above a pay grade. You know, that's way above a pay grade. No, they're pretty large amount of people that don't like. They don't see things in the way everybody else does. So when you start saying, "Oh, we got to move in this way, we got to move in that way," it all depends on the people that's like vested. They not vested in it. They're not gonna really care like that. Nah. I mean, it's up to 50, man, like what they're gonna do, but it's really up to Starz as well. So when Starz put out something saying that they lost 42 million on the show, they're not trying to bring it back. It's a shame. Terry liked Loco because he would always belittle him. He didn't like him. That was you, yeah. Loco would never kill Terry because he knows that's Meech's brother. Meech would put his life on the line for Terry. But after leaving him in Mexico, and leaving Loco behind, when Meech came back, he didn't even want to talk to Terry. You know what though? If they would have tried to bring in, like if they would try to do the show, let's say they want to run the show again, they don't want 50's involvement in the show no more. Take away his producer credit and all of that. They can still do this show. They would just have to pay Fifth off because he really wasn't involved too much in the BMF series no more. Like after this season was completed, that was it. It was no more talk of the fifth and final season because they had 5 seasons they were going to do. Meech was going to go on trial for the murder. I can tell you how season 5 was going to go right now while we here. They start off with Meech getting a lawyer. And Meech is on trial. Meech got millions, right? And he's got it through BMF Enterprises. And BMF Enterprises, he's going to have a high-priced lawyer. And his lawyer comes in and is going to get him off the murder case. But they was like, somebody's got to go down for the murder. And then it was supposed to be accidental. Then the tape, they had the tape, the security tape that the police went and seized and tried to hide it in evidence. And then it gets found. Terry stays in Detroit to take care of Boom, but they had to move to California to get things started with Manuel. So who's really portraying this character named Pig actually is the one that take care of Boom. And he ends up going to jail and serving some time. And that was T's right-hand man. So when he went down, the next man up was the guy that was sleeping with the sister. He was the next man up to run things. It's like, I'm gonna trust you while, Hoop is fighting this case. The sister finds out that he's actually the father of the baby, that it ain't the guy that she's been living with who quit playing football and everything else in school, and they living together. But she finds out that he ain't the father. And so the only other guy she ever been with was him. And as the baby was getting older, he was saying, "You sure it ain't mine? Because, she looks like me. She looked like me." So that was another storyline for season 5. No, I'm just saying this was when BMF was started. Most of these shows have like a treatment of 5 years. When Power was made, they had Power made for 5 years. BMF 5 years. So can Meech really fight like that? No, he would fight. But I don't know about him being no ass whooper like that, but he would definitely fight. I don't know. Meech thing is he liked strip clubs. You know, he that was his thing. I want to go to the strip club. I want to do this. I want to do X, Y, and Z. That was just how Meech rolled. That's how he unwind is go to the strip club. So, you know, and here they called it the Platinum, whatever, but it was really Magic City. And Magic was in there, the guy who owned, you know, the place it was. So they was in Magic City all the time. Like I said, they do a treatment for these shows. So when you see it play out in the season finale, you kind of know what part of the script that they're gonna run into. Lucille, she ends up she ended up talking to the pastor and he was trying to get her to join his church. So she left and she was gonna start her own congregation. And she ended up seeing that pastor, the one that Clifton Powell played. Yeah, well, you know, the first two seasons, you know, Snoop was involved. But you start seeing like season three didn't have a lot of 50 Cent promotion behind it. And after season two, you know, everything started to pivot a little. Uh, I think the girl name was Keisha in real life, the one that was doing a lot of the setting up the events. Yeah, when you see a lot of problems on the horizon, that's when you start to see a lot of problems on the horizon. that's just it. I hope it's a BMF 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's a lot of black actors on this show, you know, and I hate to see us, you know, be marginalized to this is it, and then you don't see anybody anymore. They don't get work, you know. So I would hate to see that happen, you know, because I think all of them deserve work. If I have to, I'm gonna go seasons 1, 2, 4, then 3. That's it. 3 was the one I didn't like the most. Yeah. He worked with 50. He worked with a lot of these people, man. I'm like, he always plays that role. He plays the dad. Like he loved him in that movie, The Hate You Give. He saw him as the dad up in there. He was, and that's what Big Meech approved him to play his father. See, Big Meech had to write off on this and say, okay. And that's what he said, man, yeah, you could play my mama, you could play, yeah, he approved him. They talked to Meech. He called and told him, it's like, yeah, man, I love that movie. He saw the movie The Hate You Give and said, oh yeah, you remind me of my pops. And I hate to see him and Lucille, they'll get other work, but still, there's some of the younger black actors on this show that probably gonna have a hard time getting a job. No, it's a whole different you know direction of what they're gonna go through. But season 5 would bring a whole new villain. Besides, it's gonna be more of them dealing with the federal case of this task force coming to take them all down, and they trying to get Meech. And at the end of the finale, they ended up getting Terry on a phone tap, and they started to get to they got Meech through Terry. Terry got sloppy, and they got Terry. Well, it's just so much that you don't really need in a situation. And when you get involved in a situation and you get right, you get caught in these different circumstances, right? Then everybody gets screwed up then because everybody mind is gone at that point, man. Everybody mind is gone. The drug dealer game is something you don't ever want to get into. So you want to make sure you right that you stay completely away from that game. Now, some people who get involved in it, they are basically inheriting this game. This wasn't something that they wanted to adapt to. This was something that they felt they needed to have done. I think that's a false statement that they lost 42 million. I think they lost 42 million as not on this show. Trying to say the entire show was collectively they lose 42 million on. I'm like, they ain't put no 42 million in the budget. Ain't no damn way they lost 42 million on BMF. But BMF wasn't promoted. 50 Cent didn't promote this show. Nobody really promoted season 4. It wasn't really pushed, so their marketing for the show was off. And 50 and his right, 50 Cent and his involvement in it was like non-existent. So normally 50 would push some of the episodes. And without Fifth's involvement, you start to see how things played out. Oh no. I just hope they fix things before it's all said and done. And that's just where I'm at with it, man. So that's my BMF season 4 breakdown. Season 5, oh, I already know the script. Will they be able to shoot it? Probably not. I would like to see the show continue, but that's the end of it. So I'm gonna let this thing go ahead and charge. And I'm gonna holler at y'all. Good night.